Crystal is a licensed clinical social worker, an activist, writer, restorative justice facilitator, trainer, mother, and wife. Having worked in the field of social work for the last 20 years, she currently provides mental health services for underserved children in the Bay Area. Crystal has dedicated her life to the work of equity, inclusivity, and justice for the most marginalized people within our society, and she is a skilled facilitator of training and workshops, especially on the impact of oppressed systems and populations of people. Additionally, she writes for several publications and continues to serve on the board of a local nonprofit that supports social justice advocacy. Here are what some of her colleagues shared about Crystal. Quote, Crystal has a never-ending zest for change and fosters and builds kinfolk relationships founded on safety and trust with marginalized communities. Another, Crystal has a deep understanding of how substances play a role in the daily functioning of young people, and she meets them where they are. When an official from the county came to Crystal's work site, there was never a dull moment. Later, he shared that she is like the mayor of West Oakland. Lastly, someone shared, Crystal is tireless in her search for social justice for the children and the families who she serves. She believes everyone deserves access to excellent substance abuse and mental health treatment and is completely dedicated to making that happen. It's an honor to present this award for leadership, empowerment, and courage to Crystal Land.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have so much gratitude for the ability to be here with everyone this morning, sharing in the collective work and goal of supporting people to thrive through challenge of mental health disorders and substance use. It is an honor to be recognized in the work among professionals and change agents in this room. I want to take the opportunity to start this morning with a Zulu greeting that is used in different parts of Africa. People greet one another by saying sawubona, which means, I see you. The traditional response to this is a word which means, I am here. It is said that it is inherent in the Zulu greeting and response that there is a sense that until you saw me, I didn't exist. By recognizing one another, we are calling a sense of community and purpose into existence. So this morning, I want to start with saying sawubona to all the people here doing the work of hope. I see you. As I reflect on the importance of our collective work, I think about the many opportunities we have to shift micro and macro experiences around the importance of mental health support. Whether working with one child, one family, one community, or in the macro work of society, the ability to engage with individuals fighting to thrive is one of the most powerful things we can do in a just society. My professional work as a mental health provider, advocate, and activist was paved by the many lessons I learned from my mother at a very early age. My mother was a woman of service. She taught me to be present for the needs of others by showing me how to be present with those who needed it the most. She took care of children, she fed people, and shared shelter with others when they needed it. I'll never forget her memorial for many reasons, but sitting in a packed room and listening to every person speak about living with my mom. My husband leaned over to me and asked if everyone had lived with us. And I leaned back over and said, pretty much. She taught me that service was an act of love, and that love was active. Whether she was running her daycare, feeding the neighbors, becoming a foster mother, or adopting everyone into her family, her kind of love was the kind that came with service to others. Love as an action, not just a feeling. My mother taught me to see the inherent dignity and worth in every person. No wonder I grew up to be a social worker. I was 23 years old when I started working in drug treatment services at Newbridge Foundation, and I truly grew up in my career there. I spent 16 years at Newbridge, learning, growing, and being able to witness the path to healing for so many young people. Today, I work for Lincoln Families as a program manager of 2 programs that oversee mental health services for young people and families in various levels of the system. It is truly a blessing to have the chance to do this work. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most amazing children and young people on their journey to push beyond survival. To be witness to the humanity of those who are too often without a voice and silenced in their struggle. Young people assumed to be high risk, behavior challenges, unmanageable, out of control. And in reality, they are just scared, traumatized, disempowered, and searching for a way to be seen. In my most recent trip to Sacramento, standing in front of the state legislature alongside Assemblyman Tony Thurmond, I gave my second testimony in support of Assembly Bill 456. And I thought then, as I do now, that this work needs us to show up, to be present, to be willing to move beyond our own comfort, to support a picture of equity and opportunity for wellness for everyone. This reflection of the work reminds me that there is not a more critical time than right now to engage hope and love in action in the world. We are living in a time when civil liberties are being stripped from marginalized populations. The prison industrial complex is thriving. Access to health care is being ripped apart. Trans and non-binary identified individuals are targets. Immigrants are dehumanized. Families are being forcefully separated. Police violence is rampant. National suicide rates are up. School shootings have become normalized. And the reality of poverty continues to reach far and wide. California is still above national average for child poverty, and we understand the impact that this has on child and family functioning. And systemic disenfranchisement continues to sweep through the very fabric of our society, and racism continues to stare us in the face. There is not a more critical time than right now to continue to engage in advocacy, to promote the wellness of children and families, to increase access to mental health and substance treatment, to support best practices and implementation of culturally significant support. There isn't a more important time than right now. I would like to end with one of my favorite quotes from a leader in the liberation movement, Afeni Shakur. I guarantee that the seed you plant in love, no matter how small, will grow into a mighty tree of refuge. We all want a future for ourselves, and we must now care enough to create, nurture, and secure a future for our children. I thank you for inviting me here today and for continuing to honor and embrace the work of hope for our young people. I am truly grateful to share space with you all here today and within this work. I give a special thanks to my longtime coworkers and friends, Georgette and Abby, for this nomination, and to my husband, Jonathan, for everything. And with love in action, I say to this community, Sawubona to everyone. I see what you do. I see you working to make a difference. I see you. Thank you.
you, Crystal. Okay. The inspiration tribute